At the end of my college career in June of 2021, I was in a bit of a difficult and weird situation with my YouTube channel. I was pretty upset with the fact that all my analytics numbers and just the overall support for my channel had pretty much tanked year over year. With one last ditch effort in order to reach the 4,000 watch hours in a year mark, I put out some live streams in order to get to that number before the gap in my watch time started to decrease, as I was receiving less watch time than I was at that point in the year prior. Upon reaching 4,000 watch hours though, I felt pretty empty. I realized that I was one of the many YouTubers who probably had that arbitrary number reached, but their channel was more or less dead. Luckily though, I had one of the biggest epiphanies come from a video that I made due to the Notion API coming out. I made the video Notion API Google Calendar sync, and that video did really well, like better than any video had done in a long time. And I thought to myself, YouTube search views, huh? Videos on Notion. I like Notion. Probably could make 100 videos on Notion. Right now, I could figure out 100 videos I could make about Notion. What if I just made more videos on Notion and search content along with my self-help stuff? And then it brought me back to when I first found Notion and actually what sparked my interest in productivity. And funny enough, that was Thomas Frank and the Notion video that I saw in 2019. I remember the months upon months of being interested in time blocking, using Notion, and overall productivity hacks. And somewhere along the line in my content, while I was bringing up those hacks and talking about time blocking and Notion just in general, I never was like diving into how to use these things in order to make people more productive. And I said to myself, wait a second, what if I just did screen recording videos of this stuff? And then from there, in June of 2021, I started to make some more content that was catered around Notion. And at first it wasn't pretty. The content quality was much worse, even though I had a better camera. And it was kind of funny just how different the content was when I first started doing these screen recordings. I think my ability to articulate myself has always been decent for this YouTube channel because I've had so much practice, but even still, I was bloviating more than I should have and was not nearly as concise as needed for tutorial content. I would have about 2 to 4 videos a week going along with these videos that were more self-help oriented. And basically what happened was I reached a point in February where I saw my channel had grown a lot. It had over 10x'd in 1 year regarding views and watch time. And I then looked at what actually had made that happen. And I sat down with my buddy Chance, who I do a podcast with, and we just looked at how all the tutorial videos I had just were getting views forever. They were getting views every single day from search. And I was then looking back at videos about like how I wore this shirt every day for 1 year, and they were receiving only a few hundred views and then being dead after that. And we sat down and thought, what if I just made only tutorial videos? So then in February, I started only making tutorial videos, and my YouTube search views shot up and my passive views in general shot up, and it has helped me increase a lot of other side revenues with my affiliate links and whatnot, and now Skillshare courses. And then from there I thought, wait a second, why don't I make more of these a week? It takes less time for me to make a tutorial. Why don't I make 5 of them a week? And then at some point here in May, we get to the point of posting 7 videos a week with YouTube search content. And at the time of making this video, it is the beginning of May, and I just had reached about 30,000 views in a month. Now for context, in April of 2021, I had only 1,959 views and 163 watch hours in a month. Whereas in 2022, I had 30,067 views and 1.3 thousand watch hours in a month. Yeah, you could say that this experiment has actually worked out pretty well. Basically, I'm not even at the point of seeing what daily uploads can do for me from a YouTube search standpoint, and I am seeing extreme growth on this YouTube channel. And I just want to make this video to articulate something. I'm not an amazing storyteller. I'm not someone who can make really great self-help cinematic content. I haven't done the work there in order to make it happen. But my unfair advantage is the fact that I can pump out content and think of content ideas all the time. So if I can do a bunch of B+, A- work, which is really good for tutorial content, because I think my quality is a little bit different than other tutorials. I set myself apart a little bit in the tutorial space. Then with that, I am separating myself from the competition because in a year's time, I possibly will have much more of a viewer base than my competitors, just due to the fact that I'm going to pump out more content and more search views will come in, which will lead into more subscribers, etc., etc. And it also will lead to more sponsorship deals and hopefully get me closer to my goal of making this my full-time gig quicker. Rather than trying to do something that I am not a fan of, which is diving extremely deep into a edit and diving extremely deep into the storytelling of something, I ended up going and utilizing YouTube SEO. Because it is the second biggest search engine on the planet, and I'm a digital marketer and could utilize my ability to find search topics and just go deep within them. The main reason I made this video is to showcase two things. One, YouTube search is not dead. It actually saved my channel, and I think I received more views than a fair amount of people who would have been in the same spot and just kept trying to do the same content that wasn't working. And two, you got to use your unfair advantage. Do not go into something that is impossible to overcome if your unfair advantage is not something that'll get you out of it. My unfair advantage is not videography or storytelling. My unfair advantage is pumping out content that is more tutorial based. I've always been more informative in the way I speak, and I needed to utilize that to my advantage rather than trying to be something I'm not. Now, it's okay to go outside of my comfort zone at times with little things like the click up sucks, click down, or whatever type of app sucks video I make, which is actually comedy, and I don't get why people don't get that those are all satirical. Anyways, the dip is not impossible to beat. If you're in a dip in your content or in your life in any way, you can overcome it. But the fact of the matter is, it took me to post all the time and post in a manner that worked best for my skill set and for the way that I talk in order for me to get out of it. Be what you are, improve on that, and you'll find a lot more success than if you try to be someone you just aren't. Also, if you want to learn how to rank in YouTube search, get TubeBuddy or one of those different things and find a few keywords that you really think are good and be like me and just make a bunch of videos on that. If you find a niche and just make a bunch of videos in the niche, you're gonna rank in search. I rank on Tascade, Notion, Coda, ClickUp, whatever it is. I will rank on it most likely. It doesn't really matter how great the keyword specifically is. It just matters that you make a bunch of it, and then in the aggregate, you'll get a bunch of search views. I've noticed that improvement happen. It's not a lot of work if you streamline your recording process and make it so that you have a setup where you just sit down and record and you have your face cam and your screen recording and you have transitions automated pretty much and you have your mic quality good and you have music that's nice and you just have everything streamlined. It's not that much work. I do less work now on 7 videos a week than I did on 3 or 2 even sometimes last year. It's not that bad. Make the most of your unfair advantages. And I'll see you guys after you watch this video. And to improve your productivity even more.